This is Full Time. Welcome in. You know I want this show to be many things. I want it to be entertaining. I want it to be informative. I also want it to be a show that I can speak on my fashion wherewithal. That may be a stretch. But last week, I got a lot of pushback because of the combination I wore, the camouflage hat, coupled with the beautiful floral guest shirt that I was wearing. I'll stand by my decisions, but some people brought that up, and that's fine. So I'm going back to the basics today, black and white, with my Ramone shirt. You know Ramone, bass player of the Ramones, who wrote so much of their music. I got to visit his grave this weekend in Hollywood. He's buried at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I was there for Dia de los Muertos and spent some time with his grave, and there was someone selling shirts, so I got this. DD. May you rest in peace. What can I tell you about this weekend? Well, one thing I can tell you, I could not wait to speak to you because it was unbelievable and sadly all too believable in other situations. And we will get to that. I will begin with all the incredible results we saw over these 3 days that defied explanation, not because of the individual results, but all of them put together in one weekend. Very telling on what we can expect this season. So, first of all, in Germany, Union Berlin taking on Hertha Berlin. It was the first ever Berlin derby in the history of the Bundesliga. First ever Berlin derby we've seen since they brought down the Berlin Wall. So historically significant. Union, who is the promoted side, they went on to win it. There were some field invaders. It's a very small, intimate stadium that they play there. Lots of pyrotechnics. It was incredible. I saw the extended highlights, and you were just breathtaking to see what was going on there. Also in Germany, Eintracht Frankfurt beats Bayern Munich. 5 goals against 10-man Bayern. An eye-opener. We know Bayern Munich are not playing at their best inside the Bundesliga. In Europe, they are arguably the best team in the competition right now. So that was pretty remarkable as well. What about, and I've spoken about PSG a lot here. I spoke about them last week. Last place Dijon, beating PSG, wrecking their incredible run of form and their defensive form. This was a last place team. They're not last place now, but that was something when you coupled with the Bayern result was pretty stunning. It wasn't over there. And I will get to England where you had both Liverpool and Manchester City. Whew. And we'll get to that because there were bigger stories with regards to those results. But they found a way to persevere. You also had Levante in Spain. Levante scoring 3 goals in the stretch of 7 minutes to beat Barcelona. And Levante did it all after the hour mark. So remarkable stuff there as well. And we talked about the Spanish league being tight. Well, it got even tighter this week. Everyone dropping points. 5 teams separated by 1 point. There's a 3-way tie atop between Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Real Sociedad, who won at previous leaders Granada. And you heard that all first. Real Sociedad, the real deal Holyfield, folks. Stamp it. It's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. All of this happened. By the way, 2 goals by Porto. Real Sociedad get a goal by Porto late in the game. So this is 12 rounds deep in Spain. So that is legit. So I ain't going to carry on any further. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this week's Full Time. And we begin with one of the ugliest games for so many reasons. I would say it's the ugliest game I might remember because of all the incidents, which we will get to here. The only game that really comes to mind off the cuff, because I remember it for being such a train wreck. I know that's a terrible expression to use. A train wreck of a game, because no one ever wants to see a train wreck, but this was a game that certainly would classify from beginning to end. You wouldn't want to relive again. It was the Battle of Nuremberg in the knockout stages of the 2006 World Cup where Portugal beat the Netherlands. Just weird things happening. This was weird plus Everton and Tottenham Hotspur. I'm going to catalog everything because there is a lot to absorb here. 51st minute, Song Heung-min involved in a penalty decision. Went to VAR. It was weird. It looked like a dive, but the defender did barrel into Son, and I thought it was a penalty. It was not awarded by VAR. 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 We'll get to you in a moment. 70th minute, Dele Alli looked like a handball, pretty clear to me. VAR reviewed it, decided it wasn't. Play on. His arm flailed out. The ball hit the arm. They had a good look at it. I had a good look at it. Play on. Okay. Still, we carried on. 75th minute, Son Heung-min received an accidental elbow from Andre Gomes. There was a play against, which saw Tottenham Hotspur finally score a goal at that point, so they were in front. I saw that play. Son Heung-min was down. It was an accident, but Andre Gomes' elbow came up, bang, hit him. I watched Son Heung-min sit there and get up. He put some water in his mouth. When he spat it out, it was bloody red, so there was bleeding in his mouth from that elbow. That didn't feel good. Son Heung-min, by the way, has a perfect record of discipline. Not a dirty player by any accounts. I see him. I watch a lot of Korea games, too. My wife is Korean. There are 3 generations of Koreans living in my house, so I will get into a fist fight defending anything South Korean when it comes to this sport, or really anything. So, the yellow card, there was no yellow card then. We go on to the 77th minute. So this is 2 minutes after the elbow. Son goes into a tackle, Andre Gomes, from 5 yards away on a very slick surface, so he slides in. His intentions were not good. I could imagine. Son had to be very frustrated with 2 incidents that I already documented. 5 yards out, gets in to Gomes. Gomes slides in to another Spurs defender, and his ankle is broken. And you could see he was pointing this way, and his right foot was pointing this way. It was gruesome. Son saw it, was devastated, felt awful about taking any part. He got a yellow card for that. Martin Atkinson, we talked about him in VAR last week, comes over and all of a sudden shows him a red card. People were saying, did he just see the broken foot and then change it? I don't know. And that's something I'd like to get to. Did he talk to a linesman and change it? So he's seen off. At the 100th minute, I'm going to give you everything. Richarlison of Everton goes through. He is breaking through. He has a one-on-one with the keeper. Davison Sanchez, Spurs defender, brings his foot up and clips him on what would have been I think a one-on-one. This is the 100th minute. There was 12 minutes of stoppage time because of all of this stuff that happened prior. They looked at it. It was okay. Probably could have been a red card. So weird VAR-ness in every direction. Again, by the time we heard the final whistle, I said, this was ugly. It's great because we're talking about it, but we're talking about just horrific officiating incidents. Horrific when I said the Andre Gomes. That's too strong of a word, but my goodness. This is what I want to take away, and I know it probably will never happen. With regards to from the yellow card going to the red card, we need to hear from the officials at the end of the game. I've said it for years. We need to hear now in the world of VAR, where they want to be transparent and they show you all the lines. We need to hear from the officials. We didn't. I don't want to talk too much more about that, but I think that has to change, or things are going to go down a slippery slope as I give you Exhibit B, also from the Premier League. Aston Villa, Liverpool. Aston Villa on their way to a famous win. Liverpool come fighting back. It was quite incredible. There was a disallowed goal, and we're calling it armpit gate. Roberto Firmino's armpit judged to be offside. Now, arms can be onside if they're flailing out because you can't score with your arm. Armpit, I suppose you can. Premier League tweets out, and this tweet was sent over and over again by everyone, kind of in ridicule, saying that the handle tried to justify the VAR decision. They tried to justify that an armpit's off, and I'm sitting here going, I'm getting dumber with this explanation. VAR is getting very hairy, so much so that Jurgen Klopp said this after the game. We won. They came back to win 2-1. So it's now not that serious, but we are talking about serious moments. It's not right that we are sitting here talking about it and everybody wants to laugh. Talking about the Firmino situation, no doubt. It is a very difficult pill to swallow. We are going into bizarro world with VAR. I've talked about it a lot here. I know VAR will not go away. I understand that. And if it's not going away, we really need to crack down on what is happening here. We need clarity. they had wording that I was fine with. Clear and obvious. Clear and obvious. They have never stood by those words, ever in the Premier League. And in many other places, they have not done that as well. Clear and obvious would suggest something clear and obvious that you could say there's no doubt about it. But we are going down this road where it's not clear, and we have to do the lines and the crosshairs and all this computer animation. It's not good. I understand we have to fix it. I think clear and obvious is a great place to start. So let's stay right there. In the meantime, Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool obviously dodge a big one there. But VAR again wrecking the weekend. Officiating decisions becoming a huge issue inside the Premier League. Every week we talk about it. Liverpool, by the way, this is another great story I wanted to talk about. Aston Villa had Liverpool seemingly beaten. Liverpool scored 2 late goals. Robertson scoring, I think, in the 85th minute, and then the goal by Mane. Mane assisted Robertson. He has been incredible this season. Manchester City were trailing Southampton also in the second half. Southampton, who allowed 9 goals to Leicester City, brave till the end, but they also would succumb. And this is all great. We talk about all the officiating, close calls, because Liverpool host Manchester City next Sunday. You knew that. All right, I'm going to get into one more topic here. Very, very serious. In the Serie A, Mario Balotelli, he plays at Brescia. It's his boyhood club. Brescia, we're at Verona. We know Mario Balotelli for many things. His talent. He's a character. He goes to the beat of a different drummer. He is also the most high-profile black player in Italy, and Italy is going through a crisis with regards to racism chants. It's always been there, but even more visible because now more than ever, players are complaining, and that is why it's becoming much more visible to all of us. That's why we're talking about it. That's why I'm talking about it again. Now, I watched the game. I watched the highlights. You can't hear with the naked ear the so-called racial, I don't know what you call it, the racial aggressions that are coming from certain fans. There was a clip where they did hear it, and I am not here to say that it's not happening. I am pretty sure across the board it is happening. Mario Balotelli, right around the hour mark, had enough, got the ball, kicked it into the sky towards those fans, pointed at them, started to walk off the field. No player should kick the ball in the stands. No player. No player should walk off the field. But if the federation and the league is not helping those players deal with this, then what choice do the players have? Making things worse, Verona's manager and later their president, who have never suffered anything like that, they claim they did, the coach did, said there was lots of whistling. This is Ivan Juric, the Verona coach. Lots of whistling and teasing against the player, nothing else. How the heck does he know? He's busy coaching game. How the heck does he know? It has really overshadowed a really resurgent year in Italian football. And we're going to keep talking about it, much like we talk about VAR in England. Something has to be done. And I think this was a missed opportunity for the manager to stand by Balotelli. The players have to stand by where they didn't stand by other players in the past, like Koulibaly at Napoli. They've got to stand by them. They've got to take everything for full value. And if maybe these players all in unison walk off, maybe that's a start. Because the players can make things change. And we saw a little bit of that, but in the end it was a missed opportunity. And there you have it. I could talk on and on. I don't want to take up too much time. This is our time together. But just a reminder that I love doing this, and I appreciate the support you got. Please subscribe and tell your friends so we can continue to do it. People are taking notice. And my YouTube page is Max Bredos. We're watching all this. Things will get better. In the meantime, we have a lot to talk about, and that's why this little segment is so important. To all, have a great evening. Or morning. Some watch this Sunday, some watch it Monday.